football league on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Chicago Bears and the New Orleans Saints, and it comes your way next.
The first opened back in 1975. There's a look inside the iconic Caesars Superdome in downtown New Orleans. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and for both of these teams that we're going to see, Charles, the future is kind of right now. You know, this is something you only see a handful of times in an NFL season where you've got a rookie quarterback versus a rookie quarterback.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the era we're in now. Because our dads, they didn't see rookie quarterbacks go against each other. In fact, it could be 2-3 years before they even saw the playing field. Nowadays, you get drafted, they expect you to play earlier, and these guys as competitors, they'll take their lumps early, but they'd rather be on the field.
Here's Cairo Santos now, ready to get this one started. And we are underway from the Superdome. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their rookie quarterback, the young man out of Louisville.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
And sometimes when you see a running back lined up out wide, you think maybe he's just a decoy. But not in this case. He was lined up out wide to the left, turned into a primary receiver, and picked up a nice chunk of yardage.
The first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
From the 41, here's 2nd and 4. They'll drop to throw. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Now there's Cooks in motion right. Now back to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. A great effort there. 41 yards. And the Saints will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon.
You know, as a head coach, you can't hide everything from your team. They know that people think that they're not supposed to be on the field with them. So they designed a heck of a game plan, didn't they? Nice fast start, get out after them, and maybe let everyone know that they're here to compete.
And get this home crowd behind them early as well.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it, isn't it? Because if you can get the home crowd involved, sometimes you can ride that wave, and that gives you a little added pep.
Groupie able to add the PAT. And it's now a 7-0 game. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for New Orleans. After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their rookie quarterback.
His ability to adjust on the fly is almost unmatched in the game right now because it leads to a couple of snaps per game where you just sit back and ask yourself, how did he pull that off? Opponents can practice and prepare each and every week all they want, but this guy, he is hard to corral.
They'll start this drive out on the ground, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
And they'll run on the inside handoff. He'll get a yard, that's all, as they get him down at the 28.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. And for the Saints here on 3rd down, an extra defensive back on the field. To throw, it's Williams. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Wreaking havoc was Nathan Shepard, the D tackle. A 3rd and long, you knew that he was going to throw it. He just couldn't find anybody to throw it to.
Yeah, and it shouldn't have been a surprise, but that was perfect execution of their nickel defense. That 5th defensive back, the extra defender, he really tightened up things downfield in coverage, and they were able to get to him in the pocket.
Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Cooks will come in motion right. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Open man left side. Shough has it. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. 2nd and 4. There's Chris Olave. Still going inside the 20. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Chris Olave, 62 yards. And the Saints are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Well, this has been a flawless start for them. They score, they get the stop, and they score again, Charles.
Complimentary football at its finest. You've just mentioned how they got it done. They scored. The defense got the ball back for them. They score again. That's the way you win ball games.
Groupie for the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. To throw, Williams. That is incomplete.
And I think we're all starting to wonder with this early deficit, what will that do to their play calling? Do they feel like they have to be more aggressive? because they're throwing to start the drive here, but it winds up incomplete.
Here's 2nd and 10. Looking to throw is Williams. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
The threat of a 2nd straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. Throwing is Williams. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And all the way down to the 26. A huge play there for Chicago. And even 40 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. Jumpy on the right side of the line.
Sometimes when you're on the end, a little bit farther away from the ball, any type of movement will get you to jump, and that's exactly what happened there.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. From the gun, he'll hand this off, and he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
And this is going to be intercepted. And the Saints are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points no matter what. At worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
The New Orleans offense set to take over. So for this offense, Charles, remember drive 1 made it to the end zone. Drive 2 resulted in a touchdown as well. Now they'll try to make it 3 for 3.
Yeah, and you know, they told us all week that this was the plan and this is what they wanted to execute. But did they really believe it would happen this well, this efficiently? I know they'll take it. And afterwards, they'll say, there was never a doubt in our minds we were going to be successful in this one.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
Now flags will come in. And I think this is against the Saints up front. Not easy being a rookie left tackle in this league, and there they got it for the penalty.
Not easy at all. Think about what you're dealing with every game you play. Ostensibly, the best pass rusher is over you on every snap. I'd be a little jumpy myself.
And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
Here's 3rd and 7. They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
So on 4th down, on is Lou Hedley to punt for New Orleans.
Fair
Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt, and the Bears take over. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. And they'll run the option to start the drive. And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. And not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you've got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry.
Yeah, he'll fight for a couple as the tackle is made at about the 32.
We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
Now a 2nd and 10.
They're going to look to throw. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
With all the success they've had throwing the football as a pass rusher, you know you've got to come hard when you see them drop back to throw. So I really like this call to counteract that pass rush with a screen. It turns into positive yardage. A lot of times the offense says, just replace the rusher with the ball, and it turns into a good play.
And he's able to pick up the 1st down here before he goes down at the 26.
3rd and 2, right? So this is a situation where low man has got to win at the line of scrimmage, but it's not just the low man winning. It's the low man who's winning with some force, and they had that to pick up the 1st down.
Barely picking it up, but they did. The tight end in motion right. Now a play fake here on 1st down.
Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
2nd and 10.
Back to throw here.
That'll be taken in by Shaheed.
And even with that broken tackle, can't get very far. Stops short of the 30. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Out of the gun now on third down.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
Here's Lou Headley on now to punt the football.
Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They find themselves in a good-size hole here, and a good-size hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. They'll start this drive out on the ground.
And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, second down.
Well, they always talk about playing great team defense, and that was an excellent example right there. Everyone on assignment, no one in the wrong spot, everyone filling their gaps.
Second down, 8 to go from the 28.
There they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured Bear on the field.
Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. Here comes third down and 7. To the air, Williams. He's got his target. That's complete.
And shedding the tackle, and now some room. Touchdown, Chicago. DJ Moore, 71 yards.
And the Bears have got it back to within a score.
That pass also evens the ledger for the rookie quarterback. Had the interception earlier, and now he gets the touchdown throw.
The ideal touchdown-interception ratio is, what, 3-to-1 for the best quarterbacks? But he's a rookie. Just getting back to even is a big deal. Increases the confidence his teammates have in him as he tries to become their leader.
Cairo Santos on to try the extra point. And that one makes it 14-7. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive.
And it concludes with a touchdown reception by DJ Moore.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The Saints offense and the veteran Alvin Kamara getting set for this next possession. And he has been a big component of the passing game so far. You see the numbers for this first half. This defense is going to need to find some way to key in on him because he is eating them up right now.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming.
It'll go as a gain of 4, and it's second down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
And space tough to come by there as he'll get maybe a yard to the 37.
The completion on first didn't get much, and now the run on second doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation, already down on his play sheet, trying to dial up a big third down play.
They'll send the big tight end in motion right. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable third down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the first down.
Back to throw now on first down. He'll find Shaheed out to the right. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that's going to bring up second down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose, and boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Second down and 6 now. They'll look to throw here. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
Well, that wasn't exactly a thing of beauty. I know they completed the pass, but look at the yardage lost. I mean, who does that make happy?
That's why I don't play in PPR points per reception fantasy leagues right there.
You'd be really
You don't deserve
upset,
anything
right?
for that.
But you get credit for it? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Well, I know whoever has this team's defense, they were happy about that play.
Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. Ready for the second quarter from New Orleans. It's the Saints in possession. The Saints on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Oh, and that is incomplete.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender, couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
Here's Lou Hedley now. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. The Bears offense and DJ Moore headed back onto the field. And it may be time for this defense to start throwing a second defender his way, because whatever they've done, it has not worked in this first half. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
On play action, here's Williams. To the right side, and he's got Moore complete. His second catch, and this one not nearly as electrifying as his first. And it'll bring up third down now. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Here's Williams. That is caught, and he will have the Bears first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5. Pretty good location there on that throw.
It really was, wasn't it? That was likely one where the receiver was either going to catch it or no one. Really good decision, and boy, what a catch and move right there.
And a tough spot to get it over the middle. From the shotgun, a throw for Williams. Going right side here, and that's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Another catch for him there. This one good for 11, first down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have the Bears first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
All right, let's just go ahead and walk through this one pretty easily, right? Blast off the line of scrimmage, get downfield to a certain point, usually around 8 to 10 yards, turn around and make sure the quarterback sees your numbers and set yourself up for the pass.
A well-executed curl route by Charles Davis. So in Saints territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 47.
Hands it off out of the gun. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4, 2nd down.
They just keep trying, but so far, finding no room for him to run.
None whatsoever. In fact, you run the numbers. He's under 3 yards a carry at the moment.
From the 43, here's 2nd and 6. Play action. Now Williams. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
So they need 6 yards here on 3rd down. They're 2 for 2 on 3rd down tries so far on this drive.
To throw, it's Williams. He's got his man. That's a Dunze.
And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 32-yard line. 11 more yards there, and this methodical drive continues.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
They'll fake the give. Now Williams.
He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone.
And that's going to be incomplete.
He certainly had a good game throwing the ball so far, but I think he was trying to take that from good to great with that throw, trying to get one downfield.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32.
Williams going to look to throw again.
And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. That one good for 16 as the drive continues.
As we both know, there's a lot that went into why they made him their first-round pick this year, and part of it was what they saw in college, his playmaking ability when things break down. As soon as he saw he wasn't getting a lane to throw, he pivoted and found an alternate way to the marker.
They go quickly here out to Moore. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Off the bootleg, it's Williams.
And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the first down marker. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
Throwing is Williams.
That's to Moore, and he's got it. Touchdown Bears. A great play there. with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Bears are an extra point away now from tying this ball game. There was a lot of zip on that pass, and baseball might have called that a frozen rope.
I like it when you bring the diamond into the game. I'm going back to the gridiron. Had some heat on that bad boy. Sometimes you throw a touchdown pass, and sometimes
you throw, what, a touchdown strike?
There you go. That's my man, in concert.
Santos now to add the PAT. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. That drive, a long one, spanning 15 plays. And it concludes with a touchdown reception by DJ Moore. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. Well, now how about this return? A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And that 14-0 lead to begin the ball game, well, that's gone now. Time to regroup.
I think even up 2 touchdowns, they knew this wasn't going to be a walk in the park, and I think that's why we would see the head coach going up and down the sidelines telling his team, let's stay with it, let's keep going. It's almost like he knew they were going to make their run at him, and they have. As you said, let's see if they can regroup and get going again.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Now back to throw. And that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on first down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
This offense so far on third down, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 17. Oh, he'll look downfield for Kamara. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
He's put up numbers in this one by pushing the envelope a bit whenever he could with deeper throws. But let's play a little philosophy here. Some plays it works. Sometimes they're ready for you. And that time, they were on guard. Incomplete.
Here comes the Saints punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. A 40-yard punt, no return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Chicago offense set to get started. They've got momentum on their side. They were once down 14-0. Now it's even at 14 as they look to put together a drive to get them the lead. They'll go play action here with Williams. Throw left side complete. That's Moore. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. One back in the backfield. He'll get the carry. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
To throw, Williams. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 26. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
They will come up on a 1st and 5 following the encroachment penalty. From the gun, here's Swift. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
They work now on 2nd and 9. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd and 1 situation.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Williams from the gun on 3rd down. His pass caught at the 4. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
They'll try and run for it. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Bears' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. So they only needed a couple of feet there on 4th down, but they got more than that and then some as he takes this into the end zone.
And I love your description right there, right? 4th and short. They got that. No problem. Let's go ahead and get the rest of it. Finish it off in the end zone. Touchdown. Everyone goes away happy on that one.
Now the point after try for Santos. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-14. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The New Orleans offense back out and ready to go. They'll look for a drive to tie this up, down 21-14 as they have it 1st and 10. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. 1st down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. From up near the 40 now after the big play to start, here's another 1st and 10. They'll bring the tight end in motion right. They go play action here on 1st down. That'll be taken in by Shaheed. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 14 yards is the pickup. 1st down, New Orleans.
Oh, I like that play call there. After a run for good yardage, you get a defense thinking they'll go back to the well. So that's a great time to call play action and give your receivers a little extra edge. And they complete the pass there for another 1st down.
And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Call it a gain of 14 for the 2nd play in a row.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter if it's been through the air like on this play or on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this defense. In a sense, they've been AWOL on this drive so far. 3 plays, 3 1st downs given up. They've got to find answers, and they've got to find them quick.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. There's a short one caught by Johnson. The result, only 4 yards there on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
And they'll work from the 29 on 2nd and 6. Back to throw again. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. They need 12 here. It's 3rd down. And there's Cooks in motion right. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And that will be incomplete. Jalen Johnson that time able to knock it away.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
And this one is no good. He missed it. And this will stay at a 7-point game.
And now 2 problems as I see it. First, you missed the kick, which granted was a long one. But second, you set the other guys up with great field position and enough time to maybe get downfield and get a field goal attempt of their own.
The Bears offense and Caleb Williams set to go to work once more. And he's done everything you could have asked for coming in. He's spread it around. He hasn't taken many chances. And he's potentially on his way to a big game throwing the football. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And with good starting field position and 3 timeouts as well in their pocket, no reason not to try and put a late scoring drive together. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Looking to throw is Williams. Well, the corner gets a hand on it, but he still makes the play. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. Here is 3rd and 5. From the gun, here's Williams. And this is going to be incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. And the Saints going to go on offense one final time in this first half. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on 1st and 10. Slot man moves right. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that's going to be incomplete.
Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on 1st down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. And he's able to get up here to the 26. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Both of these offenses had their share of high points in that first half. Each team had some big moments, and it would seem this could turn out to be a game where the last score wins.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Bears offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They have played so strongly. You look at the scoreboard, you probably, with the way they played, you would think the margin would be a lot bigger, right?
You would. And in your experience, how many times have we run into coaches where they've talked about, hey, we just want to put it in the hands of our defense and have them win the game? In this case,
yeah, not the case.
Not at all. You want to put it in the hands of your offense, but you always feel better about seeing defense because you think defense is a constant and offense kind of comes and goes. Today, this game, no, they need their offense to stay on a really hot level.
They've been hot so far. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. To the air, Williams. That one out wide and intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Demario Davis. And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line. That is just what this defense was hoping for, an interception on the opening possession of this third quarter.
Obviously didn't want to surrender a touchdown and fall even farther behind, and we've gotten to know this team a little bit, haven't we? Couldn't you just see their defensive leaders telling the offensive guys, telling the quarterback, don't worry, we got you to start things off. You take it from there.
Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. And they just got a little help from their defense forcing the turnover. Now can they make that pay off in points?
They need to, partner. They're down on the scoreboard. Need to take advantage of those opportunities, and this is a good one right in front of them.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Gets this complete to Shaheed. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Try to pound it in, Kamara. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2.
Not a whole lot there after the penalty, but remember, it was 1st and 5, not 1st and 10, so now they can keep grinding out first downs and good things can happen for them. Just 2nd and short coming up.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. He'll look to throw. And they're into the end zone, but it's not verified yet. Hold on, there is a flag down. Ouch, could have been a game-tying touchdown. They'll have to hold on that at least for now.
Ouch in a big way, like ripping the Band-Aid off there. Can they let the sting subside and come back and get it done?
A crucial penalty there as the hold backs him up for another 2nd and goal. They'll set up to throw. A quick throw there is incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal. They're going to look to throw. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete. Brings up 4th down. Solid coverage by the Bears D.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
Here's Blake Grupe now for the Saints field goal. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that'll bring him back within 4. Well, whatever was said in the locker room during the break must have worked. They forced the turnover. They didn't get the touchdown, Charles, but it does translate into 3 points to begin the second half.
Exactly as they discussed in the locker room at halftime. Get some points to get things kick-started. Now start your half off with some momentum. Gives you something to build on for your next possession.
So after the field goal, back out is Grupe to send this one away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The visitors' offense and their wideout getting set to go once more. And he was pretty much unguardable in that first half. You see the numbers there as they try to add to him here in this 3rd quarter. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll take this to about the 24, a gain of 3.
some of the most unselfish players on any football team? Defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
3rd down and 13. Here's Williams.
Eluding the pressure right. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
Nice call on defense, rolling out the nickel package for that big 3rd down play, and they did an excellent job locking down coverage and forcing him to try and run for it, and he doesn't get there, which brings up a big 4th down call.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And he'll get credit for putting him inside the 20 as the fair catch is made right at about the 19-yard line. And now the Saints get set to trot out there. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize, like going to the county fair. You don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. They'll try to get the offense going with Kamara. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
2nd and 9 now. Over the middle and complete to Shough. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a 1st down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. And his pass, incomplete.
I think the defenders have to feel pretty good. Even though the ball was tipped in the air and could have become a big play for the offense, they actually won one because the guy flinging it today, he's having quite the performance. A couple of touchdown passes, almost threw his first interception, but he's throwing it so well that I think Lady Luck was on his side.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again.
There's a short one to the tight end, Johnson.
And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like right at the 40. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. They'll look to throw again.
To the right side and intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Johnson. And the Bears will take over possession here up at the 44.
Maybe he telegraphed it a little bit right there. You've got a quarterback knowing that he's going against a rookie quarterback. He stepped in and picked it.
You think he had a great week of preparation, looking forward to this opportunity? And the second part of that is when you're a young quarterback, you are going to stare down targets, but oftentimes your playbook hasn't expanded to give you full field reads as well. Makes it a little bit tougher for him.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field.
They'll start in excellent field position following the INT.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their own 44. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't played its best, but they're still right in this football game. And if they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And this one not going anywhere. They get him at the 44 for a gain of just a yard. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Here's 3rd and 10. To throw, it's Williams. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the 1st down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
Here comes the Bears punter now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. Stopped on the play by Jaquan Brisker.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
From the 21, here's 2nd down and 5. Back to throw here. That is incomplete.
And, partner, to me, that one was all about timing. If he's there too early, it's going to be a pass interference call. If he's too late, it's a completed pass. He was Johnny on the spot on that one.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Saints 1st down. They needed 4. He doubled that. He wound up getting 8. So he turned to a trusted, familiar face in that 3rd down situation. It paid off.
Yeah, you go to your veteran receiver in that spot, so you can't underestimate him when he's on the field. Defensively, make sure you know where he is because he understands how to get open in key situations.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
Well, they've certainly had their share of troubles running the football in this one, but this play is almost an extension of the running game right here. They set up the screen, let him work out in space on the perimeter, and he turns it into a big pickup.
In motion left here, one of their tight ends. A 10th carry for Kamara. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Now, that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
2nd and 6. They'll look to throw. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
I think you put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender, but you also have to give your own guy a chance too.
7th play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. They'll set up a throw. Underneath for Miller. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. It goes as a gain of 9, and it moves the chains.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another 1st down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. He'll drop to throw. That'll be taken in by Shaheed. give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it'll be second down.
And we've seen him have success earlier on with the ball in his hands because he is a get it in space and make a play kind of a receiver. But that time, they closed on him quickly and held him to a short gain.
Here's a 2nd and 5. Back to throw again. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
Again, he'll drop to throw. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. So 2 third down conversions on this drive, but not able to get a third, and now they deal with 4th down.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle, and that'll bring him back within a point. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
So after the field goal, back out is Groupie to send this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. Well, hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going. First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's 2nd and a couple. They go back to the ground, this time Swift. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
A yard all they need, but it's 3rd down. They'll fake the give. Now Williams. He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. It's a gain of 4 there and gives him a new set of downs. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Looking to throw is Williams. To the left side into the hands of Adunze. So the completion results there in 9 yards, and it's 2nd down.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
Throwing is Williams. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Working out of the gun, Williams. That is caught. And some space here. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints 30. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. We have played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here live in New Orleans. And we've got a dandy here. A 1-point game as we begin the fourth. To the air, Williams. He's got the connection to Moore. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. Williams going to look to throw again. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. So the completion good for 7 there, and that'll bring up second down. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny. And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. So they need 2 yards here on 3rd down. Remember, they're already 2 of 2 on 3rd down conversions on this drive. And this is caught. He hits Moore. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out. Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. From 6 yards away. And the Bears will add to their 4th quarter lead. Well, to put it mildly, he's been able to dice up this secondary all game long, and this time that was a missile that he threw into the end zone and adding another touchdown to his ledger. And I think we see these youngsters develop a lot quicker than we ever have, because when they get started in this game, they're not just throwing passes around. They're reading coverages early, so now they're like seasoned pros earlier in their career. How about this one here? If they win this ball game, a game ball, definitely coming from his head coach. Santos with the extra point, and that will ensure that it will take a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie it. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Saints offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes a right read seemingly every time. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense.
Still plenty of time here in the fourth quarter. Just a one-possession game, down 8. They'll be looking for the touchdown and two-point conversion. A field goal here on this drive does very little at this stage. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37, gain of 9.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Second down and a yard. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Alvin Kamara reeling it in on back-to-back plays. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. It'll be a Saints first down on a pickup of 13.
And that's a much-needed first down right there. Look, they're down by 8. So logic says they don't have to get a touchdown out of this drive. But the way things are going, I don't know if I'd put it in the hands of my defense here. You might not get the ball back at all. So if a fourth down situation comes up, I'm thinking hard about going for it right here and right now.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
And Kamara's going to have a Saints first down as he'll get this down to the 40.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook. Go play action. Toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
Back to throw now on first down. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Here's Kamara out of the pistol. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. 7th play of the drive, forthcoming on 3rd and 8. He'll look to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 26. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Gets this complete to Shaheed. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
1st and goal, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion here are musts. They're going to look to throw. Touchdown! Juwan Johnson from 6 yards away. And the Saints have a chance to tie things up as they trail by 2 here in the 4th. So part 1 of what they needed is done. They get in the end zone. Now you have to imagine we'll see a try for 2.
And that's what the book says, but defensively, they can't hang their head right here. They still got a chance to come out with the lead if they make a play.
A big spot now for the Saints as they'll indeed go for 2. They'll look to throw. That's caught at the 1. And he will get into the end zone for 2. And this game now tied here in the 4th.
Now this one setting up for a great finish. All tied in the fourth as the kick's away. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The visitors' offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets. And it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this fourth quarter to try to grab that lead back.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll manage only a couple here up to the 25.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
3rd and 8. To throw, Williams. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. They'll wind up losing a couple yards here on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
Here comes the Bears punter now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And taken right up. Now a hit and a loose football. And this is picked up by the Bears. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
I don't know why, but it's always agonizing to me to see a guy make a mistake in this phase of the game because you can. It's all on him. All eyes there. He's got a chance to make a punt return, and instead he ends up putting it on the carpet.
Puts it on the carpet. The little rubber pellets shoot up. Never a good sign for a returner on this field turf surface.
No, not at all. And a bunch of them go up when they're all trying to get to the football, don't they?
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down. He did an okay job of absorbing the hit, just couldn't secure the football through the catch.
And he was right there on the spot and forced the incompletion. That's something defenders work on all the time. If you're there, make the contact, but continue to work your way through the receiver so that he can't possess the football and turn it into a catch.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down.
And partner, in a tie game in the 4th quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars, and he came through with a nice catch right there.
And they'll run on the inside handoff. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 63 yards rushing for him now as he's toted it 21 times.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Off the play fake, it's Williams. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. Brian Brzee fought in and got him down. And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. If you take a big sack, it could push you out of range, and that's why defenses get a little more aggressive in this situation. They're almost conceding the 3 points. They want to push you back and try and take you out of that.
To the right side, and he's got more complete. It'll go as a gain of 4. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14.
Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10.
And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first.
They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
So he waited on the sideline for his first chance in the ball game, and it didn't come until the 4th quarter, but he connects there. A big one to give him the lead.
Boy, you talk about coming in cold. I don't care how many times you kick it into a net. You're not really ready when you go out there and all that beef is coming at you trying to block the kick. Big spot, and he delivers.
After the made field goal, Santos back out there to kick it away.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The New Orleans offense set to take over. And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this 4th quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Snap will come from the 31 on 2nd and 7.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play.
They'll get this out to Kamara.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Kamara gets it again on 2nd down.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
And he is going to have a Saints 1st down as this defense unable to hold. It's a 7-yard gain there on 3rd and 2. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th.
So it's Saints football as we get you reset.
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now. He's got his target. It's Olave.
Good cover defensively as they get to him just beyond the 45 after the broken tackle.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
2nd and 6 coming up.
Kamara up the middle. And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory. They're making steady progress, but I see your face. You're worried about that clock.
I'm worried about the clock, and at some point, you have to have a splash play in there as well.
A big play looming on 3rd down.
They'll look to throw.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's going to get out of bounds with the 1st down. So that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the 1st and save a timeout.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Back to throw. That's caught by Johnson. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. Plenty of time and 2 timeouts still at their disposal. 1st and 10 here. He'll look to throw. He'll get this one underneath to Kamara. Inside of a minute to go now. 2 timeouts left. Still in pretty good shape.
I think they're in excellent shape here if they use the timeouts judiciously and use the sideline as an additional timeout.
Here's 2nd down and 3. Back to throw. This ball tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Fortunate maybe to get that back. It's 3rd down. This pass rush, they've been excellent all game long, and another example of it right there in the closing moment.
Not only with the pass rush, but how well they're coached, because if you don't quite get there, get to the quarterback, get your hands up into the passing lane and knock it away as we just saw there.
A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. And he's brought down short. 2 yards there, needed 4. And now the timeout call. So 5 seconds left, and a field goal would send us to overtime. So here we go, a big spot now for Blake Grupe. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to potentially send us to overtime. And his kick here is good. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
So overtime on the horizon, barring a wild finish here as the kick's away. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll start things out at the 25. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. To throw, it's Williams. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this is going to be intercepted. And he will be taken down, and that means we are headed to overtime. So the game will continue for at least one more play.
To not finish a game on a defensive penalty, that's why they get one more untimed attempt.
And his kick is good. He knocks through his 3rd field goal of the game, and this one is the one that decides it. And they've come in here and stolen one on the road. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And I tell you what, they were big favorites coming in, but they had to work for this one.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't the walk in the park that you expected coming into this one. I have a suspicion that in their meetings next week, head coach is going to talk to them a little bit about focus, don't you think?
Yeah, because down the stretch, there was some nail-biting going on. And you're right. I think not only the fans, but those folks inside that locker room, they expected a comfortable victory.
Yeah, they certainly did, and that just tells you about the NFL. Any given game, you never know how it's going to turn out. You'd better be ready to play.
And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.